Right, we have some big breaking news coming in as we are learning that the Enforcement Directorate has raided and conducted multiple raids. One of them is on the National Herald office. Around 12 locations are currently being covered by the Enforcement Directorate. This is the big breaking news that we are bringing to you. There are searches currently being conducted at 12 locations. For more details, let's quickly go across to Akash Sharma, who's live from the Herald House office at the moment. Akash, if you could take me through all the latest in terms of those 12 raids that are being conducted. What are these locations that we are talking about?
Right. So, Akanksha, first of all, let me show you the visuals of this particular building. This is the iconic Herald House, and we have, National Herald office at the 4th floor. We are learning that ED officers just a few hours back have reached here. They are carrying out some searches and are looking for some documents. Also, we are learning that around 10 to 12 places are being searched as of now. In the past, we have seen that how, all the developments happened. For example, we saw that how Sonia Gandhi was questioned in the case of AJL, where some transaction happened between Young India and AJL, and now this is the big development where we are getting that around 10 to 12 locations are being searched in the whole country in related to this particular AJL case, where this case is being investigated by ED. And at this particular point, this is the building where we are learning that ED officers are very much inside. Also, we are getting this, some officers have left this particular premises, but some officers are still there. They are looking for some sort of documents, and this is not the only place where this particular search is being carried out, because as you rightly mentioned, around 10 to 12 places are being searched as of now by the Enforcement Directorate. Because, if we talk about this particular case, you see this was a case by Subramaniam Swamy where it was reinvestigated by ED. We saw how Rahul Gandhi and after that Sonia Gandhi was questioned in this particular case, and now we are learning that AJL and National Herald are being, a kind of a raid, you can say. But as of now, officers are saying that these are the searches because they are looking for some sort of documents as of now. Akanksha.
Akash, stay with us as I'll also quickly go across to 10 Janpat, which is the residence of Sonia Gandhi. Siddhant is stationed over there. Siddhant, if you could take us through what is happening on ground zero, considering we've seen a lot of protests take place when Sonia Gandhi was being questioned by the ED. The timing is very interesting because as soon as the questioning with the ED got over, the raids at other locations have now taken place. If you could take me through what's happening at 10 Janpat right now.
Well, that's correct. These raids are happening in a very surprise manner because questioning with almost everyone on the board has already got finished. In fact, from Pawan Bansal to Mallikarjun Kharge to Sonia and Rahul Gandhi, all have been summoned on multiple times. And in fact, this is what the ED officials have told us, that both in their statements given to Enforcement Directorate, both Sonia and Rahul, they have shifted blame they have completely shifted blame on Motilal Vora. And Motilal Vora is no more. He's not alive. So this is what ED has to say. Now what ED sources are telling us is that the companies related to the suspicious transactions are being raided. A. B, we have also been told that no residential premises are being raided. Because in fact, when news came out that 10 locations are being raided, there was speculation that there is a possibility of the premises of directors of Young India are also being raided. But ED sources have clarified this, that no residential premises are being raided.
Right.
This raid is basically on the companies linked to the suspicious transaction related to the National Herald.
Right. All right,
this
stay with us, Siddhant, because I have to quickly go across to Ashish as well, who's tracking the ED very closely for us. Ashish, you heard what Siddhant had to say. He's made a very valid point that it is the companies which are being raided. Are we now looking at the money trail being finally, as far as the tracking is concerned, is the money trail now in the spotlight?
So, just before when the entire deal was happening related to National Herald, there were certain transactions of purchase of shares, and these purchase of shares happened just at the time, including, if you remember, there are certain people from the Gandhi family also who bought these shares and certain people who bought the shares. Interestingly, out of 1,500 people who were the shareholders of National Herald, National Herald came, into existence even before the 1947, when we got our independence.
Right.
Since then, there were around 1,500 shareholders. Out of that, only 7 people in Lucknow called, they had an AGM, and finally a decision was taken to transfer the company Associated Journal into the hands of a newly registered company called Young Indian. So here, what my sources in the Enforcement Directorate tell me, that they are looking at certain transactions from where the money came for purchase of shares just at the time of when the company was basically being handed over to Young Indian. And that is why around 10 locations are being raided, which include locations in Delhi, in Lucknow, and some in West Bengal or Kolkata as well. So here what we can confirm is that Enforcement Directorate is basically looking at purchase of shares just at the time when the takeover of the Associated Journal was happening by Young Indian, and from where did they get that money for purchase of shares. That is what the Enforcement Directorate is looking at as of now.
All right, stay with us, Ashish, because I'm going to quickly go across to our political editor, Pallavi Ghosh, as well. Pallavi, we've seen some very heated protests taking place as far as the Congress party is concerned, especially during the questioning of Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. What are your sources telling you? Is the Congress now expected to conduct another set of protests? We've seen Rahul Gandhi also getting detained last week. What can we expect now?
Well, immediately no protests are being planned, but of course they're going to register their protest. I mean, the parliament session is on even as we speak, and there has been a Facebook post which of course has been put out by Rahul Gandhi, but this is before the raids began. But I think that essentially captures the crux of what the Congress party has been saying, and is also going to be saying that how ED, the CBI, all of them are consistently misused by the government, because all they want to do is divert attention from core issues like price rise, unemployment, so on and so forth. We're still awaiting, but we have been told we can expect a structured formal response from the Congress party with the ongoing raids. But their stand has been consistent. No wrongdoing has been done. There was no FIR which was filed. There was a closure on this entire case. Why is it that suddenly this case comes into limelight, and why is it that Gandhis are being harassed, to use the words of the Congress party, by inconsistent questioning of them at the ED headquarters? So the line of the Congress party will remain the same. The raids are not required, unwarranted, and only politically motivated.
All right, that's an interesting trajectory that Pallavi has just highlighted. Anshul, if I may come to you, you are stationed at Rahul Gandhi's residence. What is the situation like as far as his residence is concerned? Is there any sort of activity happening there?
No, Akansha, not as of now. We saw the kind of massive protest that happened when Rahul Gandhi actually went out for the interrogation with the ED. And now, since his transcripts are with the ED is going ahead and searching almost 10 offices, all linked to the EGL and linked to National Herald. This is what we are being told. Initially, the information was that there could be raid on residences also, but yes, the ED has, sources within the ED has come out and already clarified that there are no raids that are happening on any private residences. So currently outside Rahul Gandhi's house, it is absolutely, there is no action happening as of now. But yes, it remains to be seen what is the future course of action that the ED is going to take, because remember, when Rahul Gandhi was investigated for more than 50 hours, there was massive protests. In fact, the place at which I am standing, many Congress workers actually gathered over here to protest for Rahul Gandhi. They were raising slogans for Rahul Gandhi at that point in time. But as of now, the situation seems to be very normal. However, it remains to be seen what does the ED have to do in the future, and will there be any more raids except the 10 locations that are being raided as of now, Akansha.
Right.